Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Haynes, and I'm an audiobook narrator and a teacher of narration.
And I'm Trenton Bennett, and I'm also an audiobook narrator and teacher of narration.
And this is a series of uh, lessons that we have. And lesson, take it or leave it. Sometimes the lesson is in the eye of the beholder or in the ears of the beholder in our industry. But these are tips that have emerged for us, and we think that you might benefit from them, whether you're a person who is brand new to audiobook narration, seasoned, or somewhere in between. So we know that there's a certain holiday that is coming right up, and it's popular enough that we thought perhaps it would be relevant to talk about impersonating different people and icons of the holiday, which brings us to the topic of resonance and where things live in the mouth. So, Trenton, we often, when we're doing characters and accents, we don't necessarily come from the same place in the mouth that we would normally in conversation like this. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. And granted, some of the more extreme voices will sound more like animation or video games, and you go to more extreme lengths. When I'm doing different voices, sometimes I will change the shape of my face or move my lips a little further back a little, or just slightly change the shape while I'm still trying to speak fairly normally,
Mhm.
just to make a little bit of a nuance to the sound. But then when you start getting into the more extreme ranges of your voice, that's when you have to take a little bit more of a stretch. Just like a stage actor has that stage voice that comes all from the diaphragm. And now that's doing all the work.
So, Trenton is going to do his elf and show you where the elf lives. The little elf inside his mouth, not to be confused with Tony from The Shining, but the little elf that lives inside his mouth. And I'm going to give away my secret of being a professional Santa. I was a professional Santa for a while. And because I'm so tall, not because of the girth. I never had the girth, probably why I didn't keep the job. But um, I was a professional Santa for a while. So those kids, when they were sitting on my lap, they didn't know it was me. Don't tell them. But
I
I
bet you were the mightiest Santa of all.
I was the mightiest Santa of all and the best example of all because people would the kids and the grown-ups would be like, well, you're not quite they didn't say the word fat, but they were just sort of like, I was like, well, that's because I was Mrs. Claus put me on a tuna fish diet. So um Trenton, unpack your process.
So we're just having fun with this, just so you know, because I probably wouldn't do this except if it was a children's book. And some of the children's books, I will be more cartoony with my voice. So when you're trying to speak like an elf, one of the things you can do is have that voice just hang around in the soft palate in the very back of the mouth. And it's just banging around back there doing its thing, and it doesn't hurt as much to your voice as if you were trying to constrict your throat to make it shrill. No, you just let it hang out there in the back of the mouth. That's where all the activity's going on for me.
Okay, so if I were to do it wrong, or if I were to do it in a way that doesn't serve me as well, I would try to do it in such a way that even then I don't have that. But if I can just put it in the soft palate, which is got the hard palate behind the teeth, and then the soft palate behind the hard palate, it gets this very helium-y sort of Pee Wee Herman at rest type of voice. And I mean at rest, where he's just talking about stuff that's going on, as opposed to this one.
You
Um,
meant to do that.
I meant to do that. Um,
Yes, I
and
love it.
so have it hang up and then go into sort of falsetto about that. Hi, I'm an elf apprentice. It's always been my pleasure and my privilege and my desire to be a good elf. So that's the elf sound. Now I'm going to go into the Santa voice. Now,
The articulator and the resonance tend to, for me, you see how my lip is standing out as I'm talking about this. Well, I have my jaw loose. I'm sending my lower jaw very, very loose and sticking my lip out, which actually was terrible for the spirit gum that was holding the beard to my face. And I also go beyond the soft palate, breathe from the belly, and go into something more of the throat. And this is also the tone that I use with Sean Connery. So if I was to add a Scottish accent to it and
Yes.
make my S's and SH sound, then this is how I would go. Son, I'll never forgive myself. Um, but we're going to do it general American because that's how people have been doing it this whole time. So I go into the room. I might not be as heavy as I used to be, but I still have the ho 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everyone! Oh, so good to see you. My goodness, you've grown big. It just feels like yesterday you were in diapers. That's usually how I am addressing the 50-year-olds you come across. So, in fact, just going ho 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 is a nice way to warm up. Trent, you give it a try. The Santa voice.
Well, I can do it, but I've got to say, your voice register is much lower than mine, and that's part of the fun. Right now, I'm constricting my throat and it's a little painful, so I'll switch to the diaphragm, and all of a sudden that pain goes away, and I'm not squeezing, but I can get pretty low and be pretty cheerful and happy without having to make a disturbing face in front of the children to get their voice that low.
So this is really good because you and I have slightly different registers.
So mine's a little lower, well, a little higher than yours when I go low, so I don't quite hit that depth, but oh my, it's been quite a long time. You're 50 years old now. I can't believe it. It seems like only 38, 40 years ago you were in diapers.
So, everybody, a happy holiday to all of you, and to all a good night.
Yes, happy holidays.
I hope that our voices in your ears meet again real soon.
Bye, everyone.
Ho, 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 ho!